Hello everyone. Today is Domingo 9 de junio de 2024. Okay, today is Sunday, June 9th, the year 2024. The weather for today is rainy. Está lloviendo. Okay, how's your language learning? How's your language learning? I assume that you are one of the language learners, language lovers, because my channel name is what was that? I forgot. Enthusiast. Language-Enthusiast? I forgot my channel name. Oh my goodness. I'll see my channel from now. Okay. Language-Enthusiast, right? Which means that if you're not interested in language learning, I don't think you would be happy to click on my video, one of my videos, right? I assume that you are one of them. And surprisingly, my videos recently have been getting more and more views. This is totally unexpected, and this is actually not what I wanted because first, I'm too self-conscious, and if more people watch my videos, it makes me feel even more self-conscious. It makes me feel even more embarrassed. Feel more embarrassed about myself, what I'm doing. But this is what I expected until a little while ago. Now, I'm pretty okay. I'm used to it. I'm getting used to it more and more. That's because I began to accept who I am, that I can be too self-conscious from time to time, and if I realize that if I feel or if I sense that people are watching me, it makes me feel so nervous. This is one of the typical tendencies for people who have the same kind of tendency as I do, which is called avoidant personality disorder, stemming from attachment disorder. Basically, such people, including me, don't feel that, in my case, I'm not worthy enough to be seen or listened to. That was one of my biggest problems when I was a teenager. I was in a band, as I said in my previous videos, recent videos, that I was in a band when I was in teenager. When I was in teenager, is it okay? When I was a teenager. Okay, anyway, when I was 18, I started joining in a band, and other members of the band, except me, were all older men or boys who were university students. I was in high school, the last year of my high school, and from spring, it was April, I happened to see them in a concert done by amateur musicians. I got to know the concert because one of the people in the music school, I was learning how to play the piano. especially popular music. Okay, not classical. I used to learn classical piano when I was small. I wasn't interested in playing the piano or whatsoever, but my mother made me learn how to play the piano, which I feel very grateful for now, though. Okay, and then, but when it comes to popular music, I didn't know anything about it when I was in high school, but I wanted to play instruments, especially keyboards, in a band. I began to be more and more interested in rock music, popular music, and so forth. And I started learning how to play popular piano. Okay, that kind of, the particular kind of music, category. Okay, and I started learning it in a school, small school, located about 30 minutes. Back then, I didn't drive. I couldn't drive yet, so I used a bus to go there. Okay, and it was like 15-minute bus ride, not bath. Okay, bus ride, and I started learning it myself, and I happened to see this man. I actually didn't know where I saw the man for the first time, but he was a very famous person in that school. And have you ever heard of Yamaha? It's a world famous musical instrument company, right? The company that makes a lot of musical instruments like pianos and guitars and any other things, right? Okay, and it's originated from Japan, and I used to be a member of Yamaha Music School, and then I met this guy who was probably in those days in his early 40s or so, and I was 18, right? And he was a very important figure for that place, and he told me that I was just one of the students, but somehow he told me that if we want to play instruments or if we want to be in a band, why not to go to the concert which is going to be held very soon. And he gave me a brochure or pamphlet or some paper with all the information about the concert, and I got interested in it, and I asked my friend, one of my friends in high school, to go there with me, and she said yes. She was a very nice girl, and she was a very cheerful and amable in Spanish, though. She's a very una chica amable, very nice girl, and she and I went to see the concert together, and I happened to find my band there. And what a surprise, because they were just looking for a member, okay, who plays a keyboard, because they were 4 of them. One is for drums, and one is for the bass guitar, and the one is for the electric guitar, lead guitar, and the other is the vocalist. Okay, the rest is the vocalist, and they were looking for a keyboardist. Okay, and I was looking for a band so that I could join, and I never wanted to miss this great opportunity. And after the concert, they said during the concert that they would be waiting outside of the concert hall. I mean, inside the building, but outside the concert hall. And when all the people, all the spectators, and I don't know how to say it, people who watched the concert, all the people were passing, and they were going to stand close to the place where all the people who had watched the concert were going to pass. So if they say that if you are interested, you can just say hello to us then there. And yeah, I did, and we exchanged our contacts, our telephone numbers. In those days, we didn't have any personal telephone like cellular phones and so forth, and iPhones and something like that, something revolutionary yet. So we just exchanged our home phones, and the bass player, their bass player was someone who was in charge of everything for me and for them too. The first person who I contacted with on the phone was the bass guitarist, okay? And then I started playing a keyboard in the band, but at first I didn't even know what the chords are. I mean, I started learning it when I was learning how to play the popular piano at the school, yeah, of course, but I never knew how to arrange those chords myself for the band. So I had to learn a lot. And looking back, I really appreciate their generosity because I was completely new, and they grew, I mean, I don't know how to say it. They raised me, right? They taught me everything. They taught me all the things that were important to play the piano in a band. And in those days, I used to listen to music, Japanese pop music. I didn't know much about Western music, American rock or something like that. And the band particularly was fond of British musicians, British rock. So they liked Bad Company or Free or something like that. And they taught me a lot about them. And it was good that I was with them from the beginning, because they all loved very beautiful music, soothing music. Even though rock music are pretty violent, not violent, but I don't know how to explain this in English, but they are not soothing in a sense, but they are loud, right? Rock music is loud, but still their chords are very melodious and they soothe people's feelings, and so I feel fortunate about being with them, being able to learn what the music is all about with them, and I'm grateful for being able to play music with them for about 2 years. And by the time they graduated from university, we have to break. The band had to be broken because they had to find jobs. And two of them wanted to become professional musician, and one of them I happened to find just recently, which was actually my ex-boyfriend, though the guitarist, who made all the songs for the band in those days. I happened to find his Facebook just the other day, and I also learned that he has been a professional musician all for the entire life, and I was impressed by that. And at the same time, I felt a bit jealous because I also wanted to be a professional musician. Like we have a very famous band called Southern All-Stars in Japan, and when they debuted, I was in that band, and I was the only girl in the band. And Southern All-Stars, they also have a female keyboardist, and she is the wife of the vocalist, though. So we admire them so much because they are very fresh, they are very evolutionary, and they are very fun, and they are very unique, and they had a lot of sense of humor, and what a coincidence, because the vocalist of the Seven All Stars and the vocalist of our bands look alike. They look alike, and since there were 6 people in that band. I mean, the Southern All Stars. They had at first 6 people in the band, and we had 5 people, right? And they had the female keyboardist, and we had the female keyboardist, which was me, and we had a lot in common. That's what we thought. That's what I thought, though, because they never knew about us. They were very famous. They have been very famous for all these years, and we admired them so much. And we would also buy their albums when a new one came out. And they were our idols. Where was I actually? Yes, and I wanted to be that keyboardist in that band, who was playing the keyboard in the band professionally, and eventually I wanted to get married to someone in the music industry. But and get back to my original story of my ex-boyfriend, I happened to find his Facebook, and I was shocked. I felt a bit jealous because he was probably the only person who has been a professional musician, and I didn't know how he has managed to survive by playing music, because it's a very, very difficult job, right, to survive. There are many people who love music and who play music, but when it comes to making it an occupation, it's another story, right? That's why I respect him so much. But in those days also, even though he was my ex, I didn't like his personality very much. And now looking back, he was someone who had a lot of problems, personality, okay? Personality problems, or personally, okay? And so that's why I try not to get close to him any longer. I've been staying away from him, and although I happened to find his Facebook, I didn't even think that I would like to contact him or something like that. No way, okay? And another thing that made me shocked when I happened to find his Facebook was that he had a stroke back in 2020 or so, or even a little earlier. And he had a lot of problems back then, and he had to be he called an ambulance himself, wondering if how much that situation would make him paralyzed, how much of him, because when you had a stroke, and the earlier the better, the sooner the better, right? If it's too late for you to be survived, you can be paralyzed. Your entire body can be paralyzed, right? But if you are rescued, or if you are treated fairly quickly, your condition will be better, right? With less problems, right? And fortunately or unfortunately, he couldn't play the guitar as much as he used to, even now, but he was survived. That's a good part. And I was quite shocked to know that. As I said in my previous videos, I had a colon cancer operation back in 2022 myself, and I tend to think that I might be the only one who had something terrible. But after I understood that I was having a cancer, that was also the time when I realized that I was not the only one there were many more people who were in a more serious conditions, and I was lucky. I was lucky because I didn't have to do any anti-cancer thing, treatment or something like that. I hear many people say that that treatment, anti-cancer treatment or drugs were devastating. They are so tough. So I consider myself to be really lucky and fortunate not to have to do such a thing, not to have to go through such hard times. And my 2-year test, or examination, will be around the corner on 18th this month. Blood test. This year I only have a blood test, not the camera for my colon though. And my next camera will be in another year, on the third year. Okay, and so that's why when I learned that my ex-boyfriend had a stroke about several years ago, which made him partially paralyzed, and I was so shocked. And I almost cried, and because he was one of the people who were with me when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and he was not just one of my acquaintances. Although I don't want to get close to him any longer, he was a very important figure for me. Okay, and where was I actually? Where this story came from in the first place? Okay, anyway, I'll talk about my younger days when I was playing the piano in the band. Some other time though. Okay. Let me talk about my Spanish learning. Well, actually, I can't stop studying using the book I introduced just the other day, written by Mike Ben, because it's too fun. It's so much fun that I can't stop studying Spanish with the book. Especially, I've been absorbed in translating Spanish from English. Okay, it's very fun because I never thought that I could translate such pretty long sentences into Spanish that easily. Because it began to rain again. It was not raining this hard until a little while ago, but it's now raining heavily like cats and dogs. So I should close the window. Okay. Can you hear the sound of the rain? Well, no, lots of rain. We're getting into the house, making the floor totally wet. I didn't know that. Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to close the window so soon, because if I hadn't noticed that, I couldn't have closed the door that soon. So, okay. And Mike Ben's book was so interesting, And this makes me want to study Spanish even more. And I can't stop using the book. It's very interesting because, as I said somewhere in my previous videos, that all the long Spanish sentences are just made up with small chunks of phrases. Okay, and if you just pick up that right chunk and combine them together, you can make a long sentence. You do it in English also, and when I speak in English, I try to use those chunks in my sentence, not individual word, single word, each single word. So this makes making Spanish sentences much easier and more simple. And so with some certain basic knowledge of my Spanish, using these knowledge, using some knowledge of my Spanish I've accumulated so far, I can use longer sentences pretty easily. And now I can't make my original sentences yet because it's too early for me to do that. Now all I need to do is to refer to as many correct and natural sentences as possible by reading and listening and also writing or transcribing. Is it okay? Transcribing and writing down and translating, of course. And I didn't pay much attention to translation work so far. I haven't paid much attention to translation as part of the training. And before I've seen one of the polyglots on YouTube translating a lot during his training, but I didn't consider it to be very useful and helpful back then, so I didn't try to translate sentences much. But now I think the method he was using was quite right, because when I translate English sentences to Spanish sentences, I use a different part of my brain which I didn't use when I was just reading something or listening something, which was totally passive. And so if you want to really improve your usage of your foreign language or target language, I firmly believe that you should translate. It's better for you to translate as many sentences as possible. Then you understand how you make sentences in your target language. You get the feel for it pretty easily, and this makes me pretty fluent much earlier than I expected. I'm sure of it. And I wish I could start translating much earlier. All I did was just listening to YouTube videos, Spanish videos, and reading Spanish stories, because that's what many people on YouTube recommended we do. They say that if you spend a lot of time just reading and watching or listening and reading, then it'll automatically makes you fluent in the language, and that's what babies do for the first 2 or 3 years. So that's why you have to do the same, and if you do it without any speaking practice, you can be a fluent speaker. Because when you're ready, you understand how you speak or how words are correctly used, then it's time for you to speak. So that's why all you need to do is just keep listening and something. And when I heard this for the first time, which was about a few years ago, I was so impressed. I was glad because it sounded as if I wouldn't have to do my speaking practice to be a very good speaker. And but when I heard this, it makes me very glad. But soon I always begin to realize that, oh no, this is not the only way to become a fluent speaker, because after all, we will have to do lots of other things, like writing and speaking practice, and also not only reading but also thinking in the language, and writing and speaking in the language while making lots of mistakes by try and error. And then I always get back to where I was. I was doing lots of things at the same time, not only by listening and reading, but I also did some other things. But my language skills didn't seem to be any better, didn't seem to be getting any better. And then I would come across that method again, which is all you need to do is listening and reading. And then it makes me feel that this is the only method after all, and I try it again, and soon after I begin to feel that this is not the only method, and I soon begin to do other things as well. And now I've been doing the same thing over and over again. This cycle, okay. But this time around, I'm pretty sure that to be a very good Spanish speaker or any other language, if you want to be a very good speaker of your target language, it's better for you to do other things, not only by listening and reading, because it accelerates your language ability. After all, you have to speak. You have to practice speaking itself as well. Because just as I said somewhere, you might be using a different part of your brain when you have to speak, or when you have to make your own sentences. by making your own sentences, here, it's not that you make completely original sentences. You make your sentences means that you can borrow all those chunks or all those natural phrases, set phrases, to incorporate in your own sentences. So if you use those natural chunks or set phrases to make your own sentences, naturally your original quote and unquote original sentences can sound natural because they are just using the existing natural sentences, correct sentences. So that's why all I'm doing now is to learn as many existing natural sounding chunks, set phrases, by doing translation work in Mike Ben's book. And so I'm very, very happy to be able to find his book a week ago or so. And ever since I happened to his book, I've been doing this work, and he changed my life. He changed my learning journey entirely. He's the savior. He's the most important people. He is one of the most important people for me at the moment. And I've done about 1/3 of the book. And I can't wait to finish it. But just finishing the book is not everything. Of course, I'll continue to practice a lot more in the future also, until I feel comfortable enough to be able to speak Spanish just I am doing now. I'm speaking English, and although I can't speak fluent enough, I can't speak as much as I do in my mother tongue, which is Japanese, but still, compared to my Spanish, I can express a lot more things in English, which is great. This gives me a great pleasure, and that's what learning foreign languages is all about, I guess. It's very rewarding, and to be able to understand what native speakers wrote with myself is very, very rewarding, and this cannot be done by AI, because you can understand what the story is about by using AI or translation machine or something like that, or dictionary. But I understand the feel for it by reading the story or reading something that was written by someone, a human being, the usage of each word, the usage of expressions. And just this morning, my daughter told me that one of the YouTube channels we both love, they actually have prairie dogs. Okay, prairie dogs is my pronunciation. Okay, am I being understood? They originally had one prairie dog in their channel, which is called Puppy. That's her, okay? That's a 3-year-old prairie dog. Strayed or abandoned, okay? And they began to have her about a year ago or so. And she happened to find the channel somehow. My daughter happened to find the channel, and she told me about it, and we both began to watch their videos, and she makes it a rule to watch their videos every day, daily, and I'm not as a big fan of them as she is. So I sometimes watch their videos, but we both keep up with them. And since last December, they began to keep another prairie dog, which was not female but male prairie dog. Prairie. Is my pronunciation okay? Prairie dog. It's called, I don't know what to call it in Japanese, but okay, prairie dog. I'm checking the pronunciation. Prairie, right? R's. A lot of R's in one word. Prairie dogs. Okay. They began to keep another one, which was male. But he lost his left hand because he was also abandoned. His previous owner was a bad person and who didn't pay much attention to his or her prairie dog, and so the previous owner didn't care much about the prairie dog, and the prairie dog named Paxton got sick and injury. Infection. Okay, infection, and because of that, they had to cut his left arm. Yes, and the people who have the YouTube channel decided to keep the prairie dog with just one hand, and they have been taking great care of the prairie dog, the male dog. But I was just told by my daughter this morning that the prairie dog named Paxton passed away just yesterday or so. She learned that by watching their latest video, and I was shocked too, but she was shocked more. She almost cried, and then since she doesn't understand English, but she was able to understand what people in the comment section said by translating their comments into Japanese. There were so many comments out there already, nearly 2,000 comments or so, because the channel was very popular. And they did the right thing. They were very kind enough to save 2 prairie dogs, and I wanted to know what happened to Paxton. So I tried to read the comment section and also the comment that the owner of the channel wrote in the description, and I did. And I was impressed because it was a very beautiful story, well written and well expressed, and I was very glad, although I felt sad about the Paxton's death, of course, but I was glad that I was able to understand how the person who wrote that wanted to express in his explanation. And although I didn't understand, we didn't really understand what was the cause of Paxton's death, but still, I was able to get the feel for he wanted to say. And this is what language learning is all about, okay? And this is not what AI can do for us. So if you understand your target language, foreign language, you can directly get the feel for it yourself. And this is not what AI can do. And this is very precious, and this is so rewarding. And that's why the more foreign languages you understand, the more pleasure you can get. So when I went to see exhibition last winter, it was from France, and there was some writings over there in the exhibition, which probably the artist of the exhibition write himself a long time ago, or even some pieces of newspaper or something, newspaper articles talking about the artist, and it was written in French. And although I couldn't read French, now I'm studying Spanish, and both languages have a lot in common, right? Because they both are originated from the same language origin, which is Latin, probably. And so although I couldn't read everything, but I thought that, or I wished I could read French. It would broaden my horizon, expand my potential. If I had been able to read the article myself written in French, I would have been very, very happy. So, and I guess that this is the kind of feeling that only people who try to learn foreign languages would understand. And if I hadn't even tried to learn English, I couldn't have understood any part of it. I wouldn't have had any slightest idea of what language learning is all about, or how rewarding it could be. So I got off on a tangent quite a lot, but okay, I'll get back to my studying now. And all I wanted to say was that I'm really enjoying translation work recommended by Mike Ben's book, and that's one of the best books, best textbooks, or even guide. Yeah, that's what he calls his book himself, guide, not textbook, because he tells us where we should go, which route we should take. Okay, and his explanation is very simple and easy to understand, and And he uses a method that many native Spanish speakers might be missing. So I'm so happy that I was able to find his book. And I can't stop studying Spanish. And it's a totally opposite of what is called a vicious circle. Because the more I do, the more fun it is. And I can't stop. And the more I do, the better my Spanish abilities will become, right? I can't stop, and there's no more interesting thing than this. This is the most interesting and fun thing in my life. And it's fun to be able to understand that I'm growing even at the age of 59, unless I give up. So it's very, very interesting and rewarding, and you can't buy this feeling with money. Okay, that's about it for today, and I'll be back some other time. I cannot promise I'll be back tomorrow because my mood swings a lot, as I always say. But since this is my very important opportunity to practice my speaking and also be open myself. Make myself as open as I can. This is the place where I can be anonymous. I can't show you who I am, but I can tell you who I am, okay? What is on my mind. And okay, so that's about it for today, and I really hope that you have a wonderful and a lovely day, precious day, okay? And I hope that you do whatever you love to make your life very, very rewarding and very fun. Okay, thank you. See you. Bye.